it seems that Barack Obama, if the story is accurate, that Barack Obama and Kamala Harris teamed up together to stage this coup, if you will, against Joe Biden. Now, I don't exactly know the timing. However, there is another column out by Lee Smith that I'm going to get into later in the program, more than likely in the third hour of the program, called He the People, How Barack Obama Ended Normalcy in American Politics. And this is going to be, listen, I think that Barack Obama, I don't think that Barack Obama is a puppet master per se. I think that Joe Biden wanted to be his own man. He just has too many of Barack Obama's people around him. And quite frankly, I think he tried to outdo Barack Obama. He wanted to be the next FDR. He wanted to be the next LBJ. He just wanted to be a left-wing radical. And I think he wanted that attention that he saw Barack Obama getting. And he thought he was better. But he didn't understand that they had a deal. And that deal was going to be made whether he wanted to continue with that deal or not. And that's exactly what happened to him, to cut the knees from underneath him. So very important. Joe Biden has to understand that he wasn't as important as he thought he was. But first, let me do this. I want to remind you of how radical Kamala Harris is, because now until the day of the election, when you hear me on these airwaves, whether I'm sitting in for this show, whether I'm sitting in for Dennis Prager, whether I'm sitting in for Mike Gallagher, all right, I'm going to be talking about Kamala Harris and exposing her for the radical that she is. That assumes that the left isn't going to replace her, but I don't think they will, because time is just so short. It's absolutely insane. And they're gaslighting us like crazy. But I do want to play this video clip for you, because this is a clips of Kamala Harris in her own words. This lady is a straight up radical, and that's what you need to know. This lady cannot be put in the White House. We'll talk about Israel. We'll talk about what's going on in Venezuela. Big news today on both counts, all right? And a lot has to do with the foreign policy of the Biden-Harris administration. And God's honest truth, guys, I am really concerned how global conflicts and war might look during the remainder of this administration, particularly after the election. I just think the world can go buck wild. But without any further ado, let's listen to video clip number one, or watch it if you're watching the Salem News Channel. This is Kamala Harris and her radical clips.
When I was Attorney General, I learned that the California Department of Corrections, which was a client of mine, I didn't get to choose my clients.
Right, a client of the Attorney General.
A client of the Attorney General, right, of the Office of Attorney General, that they were standing in the way of surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. And there was a specific case. And when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access to the medical care that they desired and need. And I believe it was not only, I know it was historic in California, but I believe actually it may have been one of the first, if not the first in the country, where I pushed for that policy in a Department of Corrections.
That's Kamala Harris saying that she pushed behind the scenes for taxpayer-funded money, your hard-working money, so that men that claimed that they were women in prisons could get their surgeries, and vice versa. That's Kamala Harris. That's who she is. She was to the left, guys. She was to the left of Bernie Sanders in the Senate, a self-avowed, it was socialist or communist? I believe a self-avowed socialist. She was to the left of him. I mean, just let that sink in. And now they want to clean her up and they want to pretend like she's a moderate. Guys, if they have to hide their policies from you, isn't that indicative of their policies simply don't work? They're not good for you?